Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to the Cricket Happening Show, this on a Saturday. Well, as far as Saturday's Cricket Happening Show goes, the ones that I'm going to look at in this Cricket Happening Show is the very nice victory that England got today. They definitely, as you would remember, Jason Holder was the man who actually thwarted England's bid in the first test, but in the second test match, well, nothing could really prevent them, as first the bowlers did a wonderful job of getting the Windies all out for 307, and then the target was just 140 odd runs for them in 60 overs, which was always a possibility unless rain came and played spoil sport. Nothing of that sort happened, and England registered their first win in this series. So England getting a win, and a very comprehensive win at that, by 9 wickets. So we'll have a look at that. Besides that, the focus will be also on the Indian Premier League 2015. Two matches played today. One was totally one-sided. It came as a real surprise. The reason that I say is because Chennai Super Kings were playing another big wig in the tournament, Kings 11 Punjab, and as Mahendra Singh Dhoni said, this was the most convincing performance by Chennai Super Kings thus far in IPL 2015. And the reason he said that is because of this. Because what Chennai Super Kings put on 192 for 3 on the board, and Kings 11 Punjab, I mean, it's very difficult to believe. Yes, today Glenn Maxwell was kept out of the team, but well, I wouldn't say, I mean, one does not know whether that would have mattered. But well, in the end analysis, Kings 11 Punjab were restricted to 95 for 9 of their 20 overs, and as I said, one was probably looking out for this mouth-watering clash, but it really turned out to be a real farce, as Chennai Super Kings won the match in a comprehensive fashion by 97 runs. At the other end, we had the other match which was happening between Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad, and that match, well, Mumbai Indians ran up a score of 157 for 8, and Sunrisers Hyderabad, they couldn't really go on. There was the strike bowler Lasit Malinga taking 3 wickets in one single over, completely quashing the hopes of the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and Mumbai Indians won the match by 20 runs. So first and foremost, we get on to the international circuit and see what happened on the final day at Grenada in the first test match. Well, in the second test match, sorry. So West Indies resuming on the overnight score with the well-entrenched Craig Brathwaite looking good and Marlon Samuels for company. So it was looking good. They had wiped off the 165 runs arrears, and as you know, they were 202 for 2 at one stage, and slowly the score was pushed on to 224 by Brathwaite and Samuels. And once that was over, then started the real slide. 224 for 3. Suddenly, England's, it was Anderson with the new ball, really swinging the ball and making life very difficult for the batsman. As first, he took the wicket of Brathwaite in a ball which actually lifted till the throat of Brathwaite, and Brathwaite was caught fending at this delivery, caught by root of the bowling of Anderson, 116 with 14 fours. So he was gone. That was the first wicket to go in the morning today. After that, Chandrapal was taken at the third attempt, a catch taken by Alistair Cook in the slip region. He was gone for 7. So that made it 238 for 4, and suddenly, as I said, was a procession from 224 for 3 for 2. West Indies succumbed to 282 for 8 when Roche was out. In fact, once Chandrapal was gone, Samuels, after making 37, was a victim of the bowling of Anderson for 37. And Anderson was looking pretty sharp at that time, and he was really making the ball talk. Jermaine Blackwood and Ramadhin were at the crease, but they also couldn't do much, as Blackwood was out for 10 with 2 fours. Dinesh Ramadhin was the sole hope. He was staying there at the crease, but even though Dinesh Ramadhin was there, they lost Jason Holder, which was an important wicket, run out by Anderson. Now Anderson was involved into everything. He was he had taken some good catches, he had effected some runouts, and he had also taken wickets with the new ball. And that new ball really started telling on the West Indies, as West Indies started losing wickets, and Kemar Roche. And after that, the score was 260 for 7 and Holder departed, and then another 22 runs were added between Kemar Roche and Dinesh Ramadhin, and then Roche succumbed. Caught Anderson bowled by Moeen Ali for 10. That made the score 282 for 8, and the score was pushed by 307 with the help of Dinesh Ramadhin, who contributed 28, but that was it. So at 307, the innings culminated as Moeen Ali picked up 2 wickets of 2 balls to bring an easy end to the West Indies innings. As first he picked up the wicket of Dinesh Ramadhin by getting him LBW for 28 with 2 boundaries, and then we saw the dismissal of Gabriel, LBW bowled Ali for naught, and Bishu was not out on 15 with 2 fours. But as I said, James Anderson was the man who started making the ball talk all the while. Anderson 22 overs 7 maidens, 4 for 43. Stuart Broad 21 overs 2 maidens, 1 for 71. Moeen Ali took 3 wickets for 51, so making his presence felt in the team here in this second test match after missing the first. Jordan 21 over 6 maidens, 1 for 69, none for 34 for Ben Stokes. Joe Root 16 over 7 maidens, none for 29. Now it was going to be easy breezy, no doubt about it, because the target was 143 to win the match, and they had 60 overs to do so. And England, well, they didn't have a good beginning, I would say, because Alistair Cook was Jonathan Trott was an early victim as he chopped onto the stumps of the bowling of Shannon Gabriel for naught. That made it 2 for 1, and then it was Alistair Cook in the middle having the company of Gary Ballance. Well, after that, it was we saw that both the batsmen started really putting their heads together and decided that they are not going to lose any more wickets, as they really ploughed on. Especially Alistair Cook was really ploughing for his runs. Gary Ballance to a certain extent was playing some good strokes. He also hit 2 sixes, and then it became very difficult. One thought probably Devendra Bishu could do something, but let me tell you, Devendra Bishu couldn't get much purchase from this, even though it was the final day. I was probably thinking, being a leg spinner, he could do something, but I thought Alistair Cook and Ballance played him well, and finally it was there for all to see as England lead the 3-match series 1-0, as Alistair Cook finished with an unbeaten 59 with 8 boundaries. Gary Ballance was not out on 81 with 8 fours and 2 sixes, and England going on to a comprehensive victory by 9 wickets. And as I said, they took a one test match lead in the series, which is a 3-match series. As you know, the final test match is coming up now, so West Indies have one more knock at the 3rd test match to try to level the series. Kemar Roche 7 overs 1 maiden, none for 18. Gabriel 1 for 20. Jason Holder none for 11. And very unfortunately, Jason Holder, while he had to go out of the field, which was pretty sad. One hopes everything is good with him. He couldn't bowl his full over there. Samuels none for 54, none for 32 for Bishu. Brathwaite none for 9, and Joe Root for his splendid innings of 182 was named man of the match. Well, from here I'm shifting over to the Indian Premier League 2015, and the first match that we are looking at is the 23rd match, which was played between Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Well, it was Mumbai Indians who batted first against the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and as usual, as we have seen, Mumbai Indians they couldn't really force the pace. In fact, other than Lendl Simmons, who made 51 of 42 balls with 6 fours and 1 6, there was not much to really talk about. Yes, Rohit Sharma made 24 with 15 balls with 2 fours and 1 6, and Kieron Pollard hammered 33 of 24 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. But other than that, the start was good. They had a good start, racing on to 42 in the 6th over. But other than that, it was not easy going against the very good bowling from the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers. Trent bowled 4 overs, none for 27. Bhuvneshwar Kumar 4 overs for 26 runs with 3 wickets. Stein bowled 4 overs, 2 for 38. He was the most costliest, surprisingly. Praveen Kumar 4 overs, went for 35. Karan Sharma. Now Karan Sharma was really carved for runs. Karan Sharma went for some tap there, 1 for 30, and Mumbai Indians, looking at the Mumbai Indians card, Simmons 51 of 42 balls, 6 fours and 1 6, played well. Parthiv Patel 17 of as many balls with 3 fours. Unmukh Chand once again failing, out for 5, 4 balls, 1 4. Rohit Sharma already spoken about. Ambati Rayudu could contribute only 7, and I thought the Mumbai Indians batting couldn't really cover up there, and Sujit was out for 9, Vinay Kumar for naught, McLennan was not out on 1, and 157 for 8 didn't look like a real daunting target when Sunrisers Hyderabad were batting, because the way Shikhar Dhawan and David Warner started, especially Shikhar Dhawan, David Warner was more not getting much of the strike, because Mumbai Indians had Harbhajan Singh actually taking the ball, the new ball. He was actually bowling, and Harbhajan Singh was one which was really attacked by Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan was hitting him for a lot of boundaries, and as I said, Shikhar Dhawan was the one who was really keeping the strike. And the opening partnership, if you see, with Shikhar Dhawan dealing in a very aggressive manner to Harbhajan Singh, David Warner was a passive partner, because in whatever and David Warner, well, he was not getting a chance to bat at all. In fact, he played just 7 deliveries. He contributed 9 runs in that partnership of 45 for the first wicket in 5 overs. So Sunrisers Hyderabad were absolutely there. The openers, especially Shikhar Dhawan, was making sure that they are above the run rate. They were going at a clip of almost, one could say, 9 runs, which was much above the asking rate that was the run rate that was required, which was good to see. But finally, Lasith Malinga was the one who picked up the wicket of David Warner, caught by Rayudu. He was gone for 9. And suddenly, I mean, after a very good start which was given by Shikhar Dhawan, and then at 52, Dhawan was a victim of McLennan, but not before doing a lot of damage to the Mumbai Indians bowlers by contributing 42 of 29 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. And one thought that Sunrisers Hyderabad were looking good at the time, but when Dhawan departed, and there was still a lot of batting to come, so nothing to really worry. But suddenly we saw that the bowling started gaining a lot of teeth, especially with Lasith Malinga bowling well, McLennan bowling well. We saw the Suchit was bowling well, and suddenly the Sunrisers Hyderabad got themselves into a real, I mean, probably they were a bit more defensive, probably they were more worried about actually keeping the wickets, and suddenly we saw that the runs were not coming so easily, and then suddenly the wicket started falling. Namanoja was out for 9, then Rahul, Lokesh Rahul, out for 25 of 27 balls with 1 6. Bopara struggled a lot, 23 of 27 balls with 1 4, and then when Bopara left, it was 126 for 5 in the 18th over, but hope was still there with 31 runs still to get. And suddenly the man who everybody fears in international cricket is Lasith Malinga. This is what Lasith Malinga can do. He can knock 3 in 1 over, and that's what he precisely did. First he picked up the wicket with some concoction of deliveries that Malinga had. He first picked up the wicket in 1 over. In the 19th over, he completely eliminated the hopes of the Sunrisers Hyderabad. They were 127 for 6 at one stage, and look at the 19th over. First he dismissed Vihari for 16 of 10 balls with 3 fours. Then he clattered the stumps of Praveen Kumar for naught, and Dale Steyn was pocketed by Pollard, the bowling of Malinga, for naught, and that is what Lasith Malinga did. He picked up those 3 wickets, and suddenly, even though Karan Sharma, who is quite capable, was there at the crease, and the victory margin was only 20 runs, well, they couldn't do much, and in the end, once the 19th over was bowled by Lasith Malinga, in fact, if you look at it, Lasith Malinga took 3 wickets with the Sunrisers Hyderabad innings score standing on 127. In fact, there were 127 for 5, and in that 19th over, everything was eliminated as Lasith Malinga took 3 wickets and reduced the score to 127 for 8. But hope was still there with 30 runs still to get. But again, it was not going to be very easy. And well, after that, only 10 runs could be added. the balance overs. That is, you had only 8 legal balls to come, and in 8 legal balls, all that Sunrisers Hyderabad could do was to get another 10 runs, and finally Sunrisers Hyderabad ended with 137 for 8, thus losing the match to Mumbai Indians by 20 runs. As far as the bowling was concerned, Harbhajan Singh 4 overs cost him 36. McClenaghan was a picture of economy, and he was also the wicket taker. 3 for 20 from his 4. Malinga was absolutely excellent. 4 overs 1 minute 4 for 23, and as I said, Lasith Malinga was the man of the moment, and yes, he was the man who was declared man of the match. Suchit 4 overs 1 for 25. Vinay Kumar 4 overs no maiden, none for 31. So that is as far as that match is concerned. Now, as I said, the 24th match of Chennai Super Kings and Kings 11 Punjab won, I'm sure, on a Saturday in Chennai. Everybody was looking out for this particular match. Probably there would have been a lot of crowds there for sure at the M.B. Chidambaram Stadium, being the weekend. But I'm sure they would have been very happy. The Chennai Super Kings fans would have been pretty happy about this. But generally, I thought the Kings 11 Punjab fans would have been disappointed, because Chennai Super Kings were the ones who actually batted first. And as you know, the Chennai Super Kings have a very explosive batting pair, and that is in the form of Dwayne Smith and Brendan McCullum. And both Ben Smith and Brendan McCullum started thrashing the ball as they have done in this IPL, as they picked up the 50 in just 28 deliveries, with Dwayne Smith and McCullum really taking the attack to the Kings 11 Punjab bowlers. Especially the man Sandeep Sharma was targeted by Brendan McCullum. Brendan McCullum went after him. Karanveer Singh was getting all the treatment from Dwayne Smith, who was carting him to the boundary and hitting him over the boundary. And the score reached 50 for the Chennai Super Kings pretty quickly. And Chennai Super Kings kept up the momentum absolutely after that, even though they lost the wicket of Dwayne Smith, bowled Karanveer Singh for 26 of 13 balls with 3 fours and 2 sixes. Then McCullum departed for 66 of 44 balls, 8 fours and 3 sixes. Shreyas Raina joined in the fun, contributing 29 of 25 balls with 4 fours before being run out. And then Dhoni clattered 41 of 27 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes. He was not out on 41. Ravindra Jadeja promoted to the batting order ahead of Du Plessis, and Wayne Bravo contributed an unbeaten 18 of 11 balls with 2 fours. And Chennai Super Kings sat on an imposing total of 192 for 3 of their 20 overs. The bowling, Karanveer Singh was taken to the cleaners. 4 overs cost him 43 runs. Sandeep Sharma was targeted by McCullum, but he came back well in the final over. 4 overs no maiden, none for 32. Anirudh Singh 4 overs 1 for 40. Mitchell Johnson went for 40 of his 4 with no wickets to show to his name. Nakshar Patel bowled 4 overs no maiden, 1 for 35. Now it was the turn for the Kings 11 Punjab to actually take strike and see to it that they could usurp the Chennai Super Kings score. And look at what happened. If you look at that card of Kings 11 Punjab, well, Virendra Sehwag was an early victim. Pandey scalped him. He was gone for 1. After that, Murli Vijay was at the crease. And if you look at that particular score, Kings 11 Punjab totally, I would say, were totally sunk under the carpet here by Chennai Super Kings, as Murli Vijay was the only person with his highest score in this innings of 34 of 32 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. Other than that, it was a very poor display by the Kings 11 Punjab. Ashish Nehra had Sean Marsh LBW for 10 of 10 balls with 1 4. And suddenly, once that was done, we saw that the spinners came into the equation. Spinners, especially Ravindra Jadeja and Ashwin. If you look at the Ravindra Jadeja-Ashwin combination, what they did in the middle is something pretty good. In fact, they started it off right from the beginning, as both bowled in tandem, and they bowled 8 overs between them, giving away 36 runs and picking 5 wickets. So that is what was the reason that Kings 11 Punjab were restricted to 95 for 9 of their 20 overs. Bailey was caught behind by Dhoni of Jadeja for 1. Miller was sent back by Jadeja for 3. Ridhiman Saha was a victim of Nehra for 15 of 23 balls. Akshar Patel was a victim of Ashwin as he stumped by Dhoni for 9. Mitchell Johnson scored near about Jadeja for 1. And then it was Mohit Sharma took the wicket of Anreet Singh. As I said, sorry display by the Kings 11 Punjab. Karamveer Singh not out 2. Sandeep Sharma not out 1. And as I said, this was a very, very convincing victory for the Chennai Super Kings as they won the match by a very big margin of 97 runs. 95 for 9 was the final tally for the Kings 11 Punjab, and I'm sure they're going to go back and look at the videos and see what exactly happened and whether it was a good ploy to leave a very, very big hitter like Jim Maxwell, a very stunning all-rounder, out of the mix. I don't know whether it was the right decision. Well, Ishwar Pandey, 2 overs no maiden, 1 for 17 for Ishwar Pandey. Ashish Nehra continued to impress as he has done in this Indian Premier League 2015. He has been doing a wonderful job. Look at his analysis. 4 overs no maiden, 2 for 16. Mohit Sharma, 3 overs no maiden, 1 for 10. Jadeja, 3 for 22 of his 4. First time I thought Jadeja in this IPL showing something of real note here. Ashwin also did a wonderful job. 4 overs no maiden, 2 for 14. Bravo, 3 overs, none for 13. Brendan McCullum of Chennai Super Kings was named man of the match. So tomorrow there are 2 matches which are coming up. I think it is KKR versus Rajasthan Royals. I just need to go back into my table here to check. Yes, KKR are taking on the Royals. Delhi Daredevils are taking on the RCB. So, well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, keep an eye on this Cricket Happening show coming Sunday. I'll be talking about those another 2 matches which is coming up in the IPL 2015. Well, other than that, I have nothing else to add. And thanks for your company as always. Your host Ram will be seeing you tomorrow. That's on a Sunday. Until then, it's good night from your host Ram Studios. Thank you.